What's up, everybody? Shane back here, day three still. Day three afternoon. Really don't feel all that bad, to be honest with you guys. Uh, Obviously, energy is the main thing. Just no motivation, lack of energy, and GI issues are pretty severe. I mean, nothing that's like keeping me in the bathroom or anything like that, but it's been a few times today that I've had to go. Uh, Sorry if that's too much information, but I want to just be really honest and really explain everything that I'm feeling. Definitely chills coming and going, but nothing like severe. You know what I mean? It's not that I gotta go lay in bed and for cover myself up in a sleeping bag and fully clothed. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, I'm indoors. Yeah, I'm more comfortable with a hoodie on. I'm more comfortable in a hoodie anyway, but it's nothing like I tell you, man, if you just sit and try to think of everything that you're feeling, it's like the worst thing you can do, but it's also impossible not to do. Like when you're going through this because you're like, "Oh, especially if you've been through it before because you're like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for this to start," or I know this is coming and, pretty much everything though is it's definitely all here at this point. The pupils are really, really big. Uh, no energy. Things smell funny. Don't have a huge appetite at all. Although I made myself cook a grilled cheese sandwich and I had some cherry tomatoes with some salt. Get some electrolytes and lycopene and all that good stuff from tomatoes. I do have like some burgers I could cook, and I'm just really not that hungry, which also can affect like the energy levels too, because you don't really have much of an appetite, so you don't eat that great, and then that affects your energy. So, but I was researching earlier like the zolpidem, which is Ambien, which is for those of you that don't know, it's prescribed mainly for short term insomnia. Uh, Ambien, it's pretty well known sleeping medication. It's actually classified as a hypnotic. It's not a benzodiazepine. And I'm going to say that again. It is not a benzodiazepine. It's chemically not the same as a benzodiazepine, although they say pharmaceutically, like what it does in the human brain is very similar to a benzodiazepine. Um, However, it doesn't come with the horrible side effects. I've been on and off it for a long time. I've never had any issues like coming off it. And that's just when my medication would run out, I'd, just run out and whatever, It didn't help me with sleep very much anyway. When I was on buprenorphine, it really didn't do that much. So, uh, but like I said, I used it last night and I slept. I mean, I slept pretty much through the night, but I think tonight will be a little bit harder. But anyway, I get off track. I'm sorry. I was doing some research on the zolpidem and like how it works in the brain and like what it does and how how like it acts like a benzodiazepine. I started thinking like maybe because it doesn't seem to affect me like it affects a lot of people. Like I can take an Ambien, 10 milligram Ambien, and like not fall asleep. Like it just doesn't seem to put me to sleep unless I'm in bed, and I don't get like super like I don't know. I just don't get all weird. I'm sitting here making this video, and I took one. I don't know, an hour ago, because yeah, I was feeling pretty restless, like really restless, which is okay, man. It is what it is, just restlessness. But I'm like, I've got them. I mean, I've got plenty to get me through like the first 2 weeks. So I'm like, I'm just gonna try it here on these first couple days. And I was like, if I take a nap, I take a nap. Like I don't even care. Like if I can go to sleep, awesome. If I don't, well, maybe it'll help. Um, and for me, this is just for me. And like I said, the way the Ambien works with me, like it's probably different than some people that would take one and just pass out or like go into some sort of trance or something like that. Doesn't affect me that way. But for me, when I took it an hour ago, like, they're really fast acting medications, and I immediately felt relief, like, of my restlessness. It literally almost took all of my symptoms away, like, completely. I'm not having the chills. I still don't have a lot of energy. You can probably hear that in the way I'm talking, like my voice. Like, I don't have a whole lot of energy, although I did take an Ambien an hour ago. So, but like mentally, because it's a hypnotic, it like slowed down that kind of fight or flight feeling that you get in withdrawal, like when you have these racing thoughts and things like that of, anxiety and what am I feeling and how I'm gonna feel later? Am I gonna sleep tonight? What's tomorrow gonna bring? Like all that stuff that you think about. It stopped all those racing thoughts and it's allowed me to calm down. Um, and like honestly, I feel like I could go like lay down and maybe get a nap in, and rest is crucial right now. So I mean that's a good thing. It's not something that I'm gonna get addicted to because I got these from my doctor that I don't go to anymore. A couple months back, and I don't go to that doctor, and I don't have insurance anymore other than through the VA, and I'm not going to get Ambien because really the only reason I saved it and the only reason I have it is for this. So that's why I'm trying it. I've been through this enough times. Like if something's gonna help, I'm all for it as long as it's not another opiate or kratom or alcohol or benzodiazepines like Valium and things like that. Because benzos are real scary. Those you can get really addicted to, and there are cases of people getting addicted to Ambien too. I'm aware of all of that, but um, not off a month's supply, and then being done with it. Like you're not going to get seriously addicted to it. And it's nothing that I like. You know what I mean? It's not a feeling that I like. It's just a feeling that calms me down and helps me sleep, and apparently it helps with withdrawal symptoms as well because it's definitely cooled my thoughts down, like I said, and it's helped me like kind of take a deep breath and just relax and warm my body up. It's really kind of weird. I just kind of wanted to share that. I'm not trying to say like anybody else should try that. Obviously, speak to your doctor. I am not a doctor, and I'm not telling you to go into opiate withdrawal and try Ambien. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying like you may, if possible, if you're planning this correctly and you're talking to a doctor, and you might want to just run it by him because maybe the doctor's like, actually, I'm willing to try that. If it may help you, like a good doctor at least, would be willing to try something like Ambien or Zolpidem that's not going to get you really addicted. It's not a benzodiazepine, so you don't have that whole crap to worry about. And a small supply of it to get you through the acute withdrawal phase of this. I mean, why not ask them? When I went through methadone withdrawal and I got off methadone successfully, I say successfully, I ended up relapsing years later, but I successfully got off it, got through the post-acute stuff, like I successfully got through it. But I had talked to my doctor, but back then he gave me the clonidine, which they don't really like to give anymore because of the blood pressure thing. It's a blood pressure medication and it can like cause damage or something like that. Like people stand up and like fall over and black out and stuff like that off it. But I didn't use that very much. I used it like once and I got like dizzy spells and I stopped taking it. But I had brought up gabapentin, and it was kind of a selfish reason and an addict mindset that made me bring up gabapentin. And the reason is because I used to get gabapentin when I was on methadone, and it would like amplify. It would just make me feel a lot better, even on the methadone, because I always felt like crap when I was on methadone. And if I took gabapentin, like it made me feel really good, made me feel better, and it gave me energy. And I heard that other people were saying that it helps in opiate withdrawal. So I asked my doctor. I'm like, hey man, I've been through this before. Like, you knew my history, and I'm like, I've been doing my own research, and not that I don't trust you or anything, but what do you think about this? And I brought up gabapentin, and he's like, actually, that has crossed my radar, and he's like, I'm willing to try it if you want to try it. He's like, it's safe enough that I'm willing to try it if you think it's going to help. If it doesn't end up helping you, then just stop taking it and, dispose of it properly. But I don't really know about the gabapentin if that helps. That was a whole kind of weird thing with the gabapentin coming off methadone. Uh, I don't know. I don't really know if I'd recommend that to people. But the Zolpidem, the Ambien or Zolpidem, uh, I don't know. Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe I'm just feeling better uh, from an hour ago. That's completely possible too with these waves that come with this type of thing. But I don't think so because I could immediately feel it start to just calm me right down. Like honestly, my palms aren't even sweaty anymore. Like my armpits stop sweating and like the sweat over my brow, like all that stuff and my racing thoughts. And even though I'm have the correct mindset, even though like I'm ready for this and this is my choice and all of that, like you still, I don't care who you are, like maybe there's somebody out there that doesn't, but man, you're still gonna get like anxiety and depression and lack of energy and stuff like that going through this, even if you have like the best intentions and the greatest mindset you could possibly have. So um, but I wanted to share it because it does seem to help. But other than that, normal day 3 type stuff, um, earlier just chills and restlessness and yawns, and I did sneeze once. I sneezed one time all day. That's it. But the stomach stuff is definitely going on. But that doesn't usually last very long for me, just the first few days. It's really the first few days. Once you get through the first like 4 or 5 days, it seems to get a little bit better. And then you get on that pink cloud where you're still like experiencing some things, but your body starts to calm down. You start to like get your appetite back, so you're eating better. Not necessarily sleeping better, uh, but you kind of get used to not sleeping and with eating better, like you're not uncomfortable while you're laying in bed not sleeping as compared to the first few days where you're like tossing and turning and like restless legs and like that weird feeling in your sternum, like you don't have that anymore but you still can't sleep. So I would definitely prefer the at least being comfortable and not being able to sleep over being like antsy and having to twist and turn every 2 seconds and not be able to sleep. So, uh, if that makes sense, I'd definitely take that. But yeah, anyway, just a little update video on the afternoon of day 3. Feeling all right, feeling okay. Positive mindset, and that's it, man. Talk to you soon. Peace.